Mm-mm. Hey, it's National Clean Your Room Day today, Fitzy.
Clean your room, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I know the answer to this one.
Yeah. Yeah. But if you don't feel like cleaning your room in your house, just buy a new one.
That's
And
right.
when you do, we recommend our friends from the Wisconsin Lakes team. Anyone can say that they are an agent, but not everyone treats their clients as they would like to be treated, and that's what Aaron and Katie do. You can find out more by visiting lakesteamwi.com. Yeah, I totally repurposed that one,
Yeah, that's right.
but
But that's a good one.
it's a
I'm
solid
sure
one.
Aaron and Katie would love to sell you a new house today.
Yeah. It's also National Shrimp Day today, and I only had 3 to pick from, so I got nothing for this. I have no idea. National Shrimp Day. How do you transition that into?
Well, if you burn your shrimp, you can use a fire
Oh,
extinguisher.
perfect. You should start doing these. You probably already know that Industrial Safety sells and services practically everything that goes into a fire station and on a firefighter, but they do so much more, including kitchen suppression system maintenance, inspection, and installs, just to name a few. For more information about all of the services that they provide, visit their website at industrialsafetystore.com.
See, those are both perfect.
See,
Together,
that's
we can
nice.
make this happen. There we go.
And by the way, if anyone, I'm sure most people know this by now, but that's Chris Cruzy.
That's right. Hey, I want to have Aaron and Katie on some week and talk about housing. I
Okay.
think that's an important topic. I think
So
we should
when
know.
you say you would like to have, what I'm hearing is, Ben,
Yeah,
contact
right.
them and you get it done. Because you always say, I got an idea for a guest, and it's that just sounds like more work for me as usual.
Well, I'm pretty sure you talked to them, so I think it'll be okay.
I do. Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. More than happy to do that.
Right.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. It's Positive Tuesday today, May 10th, 2022.
That's right.
For DrydenWire.com and for Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben Dryden, and you're watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors. I got their swag on today. See, I got that one there in my head. Well, it's on backwards. They should put their logo in front. I found when I put it in turn it around, then all the lights get screwed up. With nearly 20 years of experience, this locally owned and operated business has provided quality work in roofing, garages, siding, window installations, kitchen and bathroom remodeling, vinyl and hardwood flooring, and it can even build your house or business from the ground up. Like Fitzy and I, they believe that it's the little things that make a big difference, so give them a call today. The number's right there on the screen, 715-520-2271. Fitzy, good morning.
I think a lot of people are going to be needing his number. Sounds like, huh?
Yeah, what the frick?
Well, you had it all. We didn't have any in
I
Barron
was
County.
going to ask if you got any hail down there.
No, I saw pictures from your dad. And you put some pictures up there. I mean, there's some damage up there, isn't there?
There is. It took us 4 hours. So I was here in Spooner. My Jeep was in the garage. So thankfully, nothing here. And it wasn't that bad. It was like, I don't know, dime and nickel size. But Jerusha worked down the DA's office in Shellick. And Shellick got it bad. Like Matt's business, his whole like garage door side got blown out.
Really?
Yeah, he had a whole bunch of damage. And he has so many vehicles. So I'm sure all those got damaged. And Jerusha was at the working at the government center there in Shell Lake, and Shell Lake got it bad.
Yeah.
And she came home for lunch, and her cracked windshield was shattered at the very top. It's not in her line of sight, but it's still, that shattered. Her rear taillight's out, and I took pictures of, I think, 27 or 30 of those, hailstorm divot. Yeah, so it took us like 4 hours to get through to our insurance because they were flooded. And I'm just assuming. I mean, we only have so many places you get this stuff fixed.
Right.
It's gonna be 2, 3, 4. They're gonna be swamped too.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's a good question for you. How does that work then? I'm hoping that Dave Wilson. Hold on, where is he? There we go. In the Shell Lake Police Department, kind of look the other way here for a few months when they see vehicles with damage, because there's a lot of people. I got to get to work.
I'm sure they will for Jerusa, but not for you.
So how does that? Seriously, like if that stuff
Well,
happens, like they had that tornado that went through a few
but
years ago.
the glass companies will be able to, they can replace glass 5-10 cars a day. And if there's that much damage, what we've seen is many, these dealerships and will create many things where they'll come and fix them same day. And there could be, if there's that much damage or that much work, auto glass specialists or whoever they are will come in and bring multiple trucks from other areas and do a whole bunch of people in one day. So
All right.
that kind of stuff will happen. And insurance companies are very good with glass. I had some glass with just a crack in a glass, and our insurance company did it, boom, boom, and it was done instantly. So now if they have glass, that would be the other problem with that. And so, yeah, as long as it's not blocking.
What do you mean? What, it's a glass company. Why wouldn't they have glass?
Well, but I mean, how much do they have? I mean, you got to, if they normally replace 30 a month, and now they have to replace 330.
Oh,
they
sure.
got to find a lot more product, and so
That makes sense.
I assume glass is okay. I don't think there's a backlog in glass, but who knows? I don't know. But but back to storm damage. Look, there's going to be people that come into town and take advantage of people, and this is where we have to use our local contractors. Always pay your bills. Never pay the contractor. Pay Lamperts or whoever you get your shingles from, pay them direct. We've seen contractors say, "Oh, I'll pay Lamperts," and then they leave town. A local contractor is not going to do that. If you use Brian or whoever, use local people that we trust, that we know are here, that if they take advantage of you, we can find them. Right. There's companies that will come into town. ABC Roofing out of La Crosse will come into town. And I made that company up. It's not a real company.
Really? Oh, wow. ABC 123.
Hopefully they're not a real company.
Yeah, it probably is, actually.
Yeah, no, I'll be on CNN.
So real quick. So, yeah, exactly. What is your first tip to someone? They come and say, hey, you've got damage. What's the one thing that you have to ask or you should ask before you move forward? What is it?
You need to check references. Check a reference. I mean, that's the only thing. If they're a local company and they've been around, you've seen their trucks for the past 10 years driving around, then it's safe. But you should also get multiple bids, because people also might,
sure.
say, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to make $1,000 extra. I don't know what the number is.
Yeah.
Local contractors won't do that. If it's too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true.
Yeah.
Right. And so,
yeah.
You really got to, we don't have that problem here. We would have put out some press releases, but you've got to take advantage. Don't get taken advantage of. We've seen a lot of people pay their contractors, and I'll pay the shingles to Lamperts, and then they drive away without paying Lamperts. Lamperts isn't going after them. They're going after where the shingles are, so you're going to double pay.
Yep.
And you're going to have to go after the guy. Lamperts isn't going to.
Exactly.
Right. And
good advice.
We've got to really, because they're going to be flowing through the area today like crazy, and there is some good people. Maybe they will do a good job, and they're
That's true. Just because they're not in town doesn't mean they're not on the up and up. But do your homework first.
Ask references, check websites. Things like that.
Good advice.
Yep, it's always good.
So we're going to have Renee Luell on, the executive director at Lakeland Family Resource Center. I think we're going to have her on at 8:45. So 8 minutes. I don't know how long.
She's in her green room.
Yeah, I see her. She's getting ready down the virtual green room.
That's right.
That's awesome. So we can see her in there, and she's all. It's just funny. So your weekend, obviously Mother's Day, this weekend. I saw you put something out. It was your wife's birthday on Mother's Day too.
Yes,
that's nuts.
Yeah,
and you were in your post you put up Sunday morning on your page. You said you're another hockey thing. Yeah. Seriously, is that every weekend?
It is not this weekend.
Okay.
We're off this weekend. Well, as of today, I'm off. He said something about another tournament some team might want him to play in, but he'll be going with a friend because I ain't going.
Yeah, that's enough.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. Happy birthday to my wife. Happy Mother's Day to other mothers out there.
Yeah.
It was a special day, and it's going to be a great week for weather. So
now.
Yeah, now. After.
Right. So what else has been new with you? Last week you were off, so we had Sheriff Walk fill in, and Kirk Anderson, who actually hosted the show. I was the co-host. And by the way, that's where it's at, co-hosting or being the guest. Yeah, because I was even commenting because he was doing all the stuff and leading the show, and I'm just sitting there going, man, this is great. This is what Fitzy must feel like all the time. I don't have to do any work at all. I just pop on and answer a few things, look good, and go away. Right. So it was great. Yep, but they did a great job. Dirk, sadly, with the very humid. Yep. That's not great, but keep an eye on the weather.
Yep, always. And Dirk's our guy. He let us know about some stuff yesterday.
Even when you were off last week, he still gave us a weather update.
Yeah, that's right. So he follows, not just for me, he follows you too.
See?
You are important.
Yeah. Also, while you were gone, and something, yeah, so I don't even know how to segue into this,
Okay.
but you know that there's a few things that really just get under my skin from
Correct.
a business standpoint. And you and I have talked about this before, and you kind of feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And that is when you state opinions as facts and it's factually wrong.
Correct.
That just burns me up. You can be critical of DrydenWire. You can be critical of me and just simply not like me. That list seems to be ever growing. But people,
I don't think so.
they may not like you, Fitzy, and maybe not like or critical of what you do at the sheriff's department, sheriff's office. And that's fine. You can have an opinion. You can be critical. Just don't state things that are inaccurate.
Right.
And someone stated something that was inaccurate, and it really, that stuff just gets to me. And it was actually on a Facebook page that I'm blocked from. Don't know why, but that's perfectly fine. People have the right to block whatever. This was actually on our own sheriff, Washburn County Sheriff's elect, Dennis Stewart for sheriff. I can't remember what it's called. But over a period of like 12 hours, I was getting tons of these messages of screenshots and saying, did you see this? Did you see this? I'm like, no, I don't have access to it. But I started looking through it. And, it's a sheriff and you have opinions, that's fine. But it kind of got to me a little bit, and I just needed to say something about it. So there was, this was on his page, and it says, I have been asked why I have not responded to articles from my opponent on a local social media source who has made it known they are biased. So first, what he's referring to is Warren Tuttle. He does paid ads with us, just like anybody can do paid ads, right? Rebecca Clayfish does too. Adam Jarko does, etc.
Well, and everybody. I
right.
will.
Yeah, it's just that's how it works, right? And his last written paid article, and it says, Warren Tuttle for sheriff, paid advertisement, and paid for by, etc. So there's no confusion that it is a paid article ad by that candidate. And I think this last one was titled Campaign Promises. And he was talking about, look at all the things that our current sheriff has said that he was going to get done and he promised to do. And he was asking, has anyone gotten it done? As far as political ads go, it's par for the course. You say good things about yourself, and you have to separate yourself from your opponent. So that's just how it works. That's a political ad. It's fine. It wasn't egregious. It was. That's how it works. So that's what he's referring to there. The articles from my opponent. Then it's on a local social media source. So first, I want to make a correction there because we're not a social media source. Our business is our website, DrydenWire.com. We have social media outlets. We have Facebook and Instagram, which we don't really use anymore, Twitter, saying that DrydenWire, even though it technically didn't say DrydenWire, but we all know it's what it is because that's where the article was posted on DrydenWire, saying that we're a social media source. Fitzy would be like me saying to you that it's the Barron County Sheriff's Department. It's a social media sheriff's department. Right. Well, it just because we have a Facebook page doesn't mean social media. I know it's a small detail, but details are important, and I think certainly sheriffs would understand that more than probably anybody else, how important details are. But then it says who has made it known they are biased. Yep, so we're not. Matter of fact, I can't say that any stronger than that. We are not. I have stated on the show that I personally endorse Warren Tuttle for sheriff, and I personally support him. But that has, and I've also stated, though, that has nothing to do with DrydenWire. I don't speak for my dad, for my mom, for our graphic artist, for our coder, for all the other people that are behind the scenes that work at DrydenWire or contribute to DrydenWire. I don't speak for them, and plus we've never endorsed anyone anyway. Therefore, there can't be a bias because we don't endorse anyone. We allow the same opportunities for everyone. Warren, the current sheriff, for you, for other sheriff, for any, it doesn't matter. Everyone is allowed the same opportunity. And that really got under my skin because you and I have both personally endorsed Adam Jarko for Attorney General. Mm-hmm. Now, does that mean, Fitzy, that the Barron County Sheriff's Department has endorsed Adam?
No, it does not. No, but the perception could be that it is. But when you ask me a question, I'll say, no, I personally endorse him, and this is why I think Adam is the right choice for the job or guy for the job. And you would say the same thing. Why did you personally endorse whoever it is? Warren Tuttle, me, whoever. I mean, whoever it is. So it's frustrating. I understand your frustration. I see your frustration. You can't let it get to you because not everybody's going to like us. And as much as we want to be, and that's the problem. Our personalities don't allow us to not be liked, and that frustrates both you and I because we work very hard. Our integrity is number one, and then we work very hard beyond that.
Yeah.
Our family, and then our integrity, and then our jobs, and they kind of go hand in hand, all of them. And when you attack my family, you attack my integrity. They're kind of the same.
Yeah.
And so that's the problem with that, and I get it. And I understand some of your frustrations up there, and that's the trouble with politics. It sucks some days.
And I get, again, that politics part. But if you have an opinion, if you don't like me, fine. If you're critical of DrydenWire, fine. But don't state untruths as facts. Again, especially coming from that position and somebody who he is. I respect the office of sheriff, regardless of who's in that office. It's the office of sheriff. And we have the utmost respect for that office. And we have never done anything to purposely to hurt or anything. I've been critical of the sheriff a couple months ago, right? About that missing kids, and I said I sent an email to him a couple days before we had a show, never responded, and I didn't like that. If I was a parent of these kids, I would have been a little upset that didn't get sent out to all media, and I was looking for clarification. He did respond after our show and said that he'd get back to me. Been 2 months, haven't heard from him. Now that's fine. But just don't go and say things that aren't factual and state them as factual, because then I was getting messages saying, why are you so biased? But we're, okay, see, now that's hurting our integrity, our reputation, and that's, I draw the line there. So right. I know this is kind of heavy, but I just needed to address that.
Right. And it's the only way to do is to talk about it, and hopefully it'll get better. And like I said, anybody can come on our shows. Anybody can buy an ad from you. And I would guess, and I don't know this, but I would guess Warren Tuttle's advertising other places in Washburn County.
He will be, I know. Yeah, he will be.
And so, I mean, you're not the only media outlet in the area, but you're one of the top media outlets. So if you look at across the state, how many people come on your show? Not locally. How many people it's statewide come on your show because of the viewers you have? You have to use that to your advantage, and that's not why I do it. I mean, I guess it's partly because why I do it, because I want to get our messages out to as many people as I can. So why wouldn't I go to the top, show or
social media news source?
Social media news source in America. No.
Sure. Yeah.
But, so do I do this to benefit me? Sometimes it does benefit me, but our message gets way bigger than, it gets out to way more people. And that's why I come on DrydenWire every week, because we can reach people. We're only reaching 37 people right now, but throughout the day and throughout the week, we reach a lot of people. And if we save one person from getting scammed, we've done our job.
Yeah, that's a good day.
If one person hears this and says, you know what, I'm not going to use some fly-by-the-night roofer to replace my shingles, and they don't get taken for thousands of dollars,
totally worth
we can feel good about ourselves.
That's
day. What this is about, is not getting taken advantage and getting a message out there about whatever it is.
Yeah. All right, so we're already a little bit past. We wanted to bring our guest in. Now I have to figure out how to do this. So
okay, this will be good.
Bear with me. You know what? I'll put that up while I'm trying to figure this out. So preview. Okay, hold on.
Over being the public eye says you open yourself up to rude comments and people don't like you. Yeah, we know. Dirk, I know. Sometimes the weather's wrong and you get blamed for it, Dirk. I know.
Exactly. Okay, so DrydenWire has partnered with Spooner Health to introduce a new monthly segment on Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy show called Community Cares. I think yesterday I mistakenly said Community First. That's a different thing. So it's Community Cares, apparently. So that was my bad. So for our first guest, of course, we have Renee Luell, the Executive Director at Lakeland Family Resource Center.
Look at that. You did it.
I did it. Uh-oh. It still says I'm in preview mode. Is this working? Can everybody else? Uh-oh.
Yeah,
back to live mode. I don't know if I did that right. Renee, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I don't know. I got to get better at this. We need a producer. Renee, good morning. How are you?
I am good.
Yeah?
Thank you for having me.
Yep. I love it. It was actually Carrot Walters from Spooner Health was the one that recommended we have you on for our first guest. Again, we have partnered with Spooner Health for these segments. She spoke very highly of you. I know you. I've talked to you in the past. I see all the great work Lakeland Family Resource Center does. But why do you think Kara Walters for Community Cares said Renee should be the first guest? Why?
Well, I am the executive director with Lakeland Family Resource Center. We are growing at a rapid pace. We are meeting the needs of our community in so many different ways, and we're a part of so many different local agencies that we're working together to meet those needs. Lakeland's been around for over 25 years, and within the last 5 years, we've grown and been able to meet the needs of the community. Last year alone, we distributed over 15,000 pounds of food. We met the needs of over 5,000 families, and that includes our students within the schools, and then their parents as well.
So you said the last 5 years it's grown. It's been around for 25. How long have you been the executive director there?
For 5.5 years.
So about the same time. I'm just saying. I'm just connecting the dots for people.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when I moved back here, so I grew up in Spooner, and my family and group, is from around here. And when I applied for this job, I had no idea what it was. And my parents didn't know, and other people I knew were like, what is Lakeland Family Resource Center? And so my goal from the beginning was to get that out there, because we do so many great things. We're like this little gem, and we're like hidden, and we don't need to be hidden. We need to be out there. So people can call us. People know our number. We're not the place that maybe we're not the professional that's going to diagnose you, or going to remove your kids, those types of things. You're going to call us, and we're going to help you get to wherever you need to get to, and we're going to help walk you along the way.
So who's this for?
What's that?
Who's this for? I mean, I went to your website this morning, and holy buckets.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I know. So, I mean, we could talk about it for 2 hours about each one of these, but who is the average person that, I'm not sure if I'm saying this correctly, utilizes your services, right? You're a nonprofit.
Yep.
So who utilizes this? Who calls you?
Yeah. So, everyone. So we have families that are stay-at-home moms that have small children that, need to get out, meet people. We have family nights that are supporting all families. They're always free. We have a free meal. And then we're supporting those families that are struggling with, addiction, are suffering with poverty, mental health issues, parenting, homelessness. We just recently had a homeless person come in, and we're working with this person. And when this person came in, I said, what is your biggest need? What do you need right now, and what can we help you with?
Did he say home? Uh-huh.
He needed a pillow.
So, that breaks my heart.
Yep. So we went and got a pillow, and we're working with this individual to help find employment and find a home, filling out stuff. So, anyone that comes to our door, I don't turn anyone away. And I think that's the best part about my job is I'm like, absolutely, if we can't help you, we don't have the program, we're going to find it for you, and we're going to work with you along the way. And we're going to call you and make sure that you're taken care of by whomever that is. Yeah. So many different needs as far as
you talked about, hold on a second. You talked about addiction. I don't want to move past that.
Yeah.
Helping people with addiction. Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yep. So we do supervised visits for Washburn County. And a lot of those families that are coming in, they're struggling with addiction. So a lot of it is the meth that's coming through. In the last 5 years, we've learned a lot about that just from our clients that we've built those relationships with, and kind of, educating us. But seeing those families come in, and, the mom that came in and she hadn't seen her kids. She got her kids removed, and she fell to her knees crying when she first saw her child. And it was it was hard. It was very hard, but also knowing that yes, they're struggling with this addiction, but that doesn't mean that they don't still love and care for their children. And so we almost become a safe spot for those children because they're coming to our place on a regular basis. They get to know us. We make them feel comfortable, and then we help the parent get sober. I mean, one individual, this person would come, and when he thought he was going to use or something, he'd just come over to Lakeland. If it was, he was just going to come and sit on the couch, or if he needed something, and then, we do help with that process of getting their kids back as well. I help find them a home and help them get, groceries and organize his kitchen and, those types of things. So we see that a lot. We see that, they do really good, and then they're right back, at it. And it's difficult. We don't have a ton of resources for those people as far as treatment. It's expensive. I continuously look for grants to figure out how we can address that, because, I was just at a meeting and someone had, a police officer had said that, why do you keep using, and, that kind of thing. And well, I would rather die than have to go through a withdrawal or have to go through that. So yeah, and yeah.
Fitzy, do you have their website up by chance? And if
Yes,
not,
I do.
What other programs are in there?
Well, first of all, I want to say I think you guys do amazing things. Your website is unbelievable. It's a very good website. And speaking of that, I see you're looking for sponsors. Don't forget about DrydenWire when you need sponsors.
Would you stop volunteering us for things?
I'm not. I'm just saying.
Well, now I have to.
No, you don't.
You just called me out on
positive. Bad if you don't. But
fine.
But it's the little things that make a big difference.
That's right.
And I think that's what you guys do. It's just the little things that make big differences in people's lives. And we talk about that every day. And I commend you and I applaud you because I'm part of many nonprofits in Barron County, and you guys don't do it for the paycheck. You do it for making the difference in our community, from our libraries to groups like you and leaders like you of your team. I mean, so I thank you for that, because it takes special people to lead these nonprofits. So thank you for that. Secondly, your website's awesome. I mean, your programs, you talk about food and housing and employment, and it's those little things that people need help with that no one taught them how to do that. And it's special. And then you talk about family and your programs you offer for families. I mean, you guys do it all. That should be your motto, is we do it all. And I'm sure you do way more than you're supposed to be doing, because you want to help people. And again, we really, really appreciate that. And I know that's why Spooner Health wanted you on here, because you guys do so much. And I just can't thank you enough for what you do.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And, I've learned throughout, my 5 years that, we have so many programs, and there's so many different names for our programs. So community response, or food for families, or school to home. And, you hand someone a brochure and they'd say, well, what is community response? Or what does this mean? What does this mean? And that's where it's like, when someone's in need or someone is struggling, it's not about what program you're in and the name of it. It's that we'll figure that out. We're the resource experts. Family Resource Center. We're the resource center. We know the resources. And if we can't do it, someone else can.
Sorry.
But I was just going to say, and excitingly enough, we did also receive a large grant to expand some of our services to surrounding counties. So
what?
That'll start in.
Now you have Fitzy's attention.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Now you got me.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah, Barron is one of them. we have, this would be for parent education,
Parent
and
education.
yep, to run some groups, and those are families. I mean, I could probably use some parent
I
education.
was literally going to say that too, but I'm like, well, maybe that's okay. Maybe I shouldn't say that.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, anyone can use it. You know, um, but there isn't a ton of resource centers around in this area, and so to be able to expand and take what we are doing and what we know and expand those, our school to home liaison program. Um,
what is that? It's the second time you've mentioned that one. What is that one exactly?
So that was piloted. Actually, Jim LeDuc, Health and
Oh,
Human Service
we know Jim.
Director, yep, he came and he said, I have this idea. Let's try to make this work. And we created this program. I'm sure there's other programs out there similar.
Hmm?
Called it School to Home. We piloted it in the Shell Lake School District. And now we are in all school districts in Washburn County. The schools, we've also received grants from DPI to offer a full-time person in each of the schools. So what that person does is they're an employee of Lakeland Family Resource Center. So we're not the school, we're not the county, and we are working with those students that are on the verge. So we want to provide them with those services and opportunities that usually open up when you are in trouble. So let's try to open those services up. So we're working with students' truancy, behavior, academic, and the best part of the program is that, yep, we're in the schools, we're working with those students, but we're connecting with those families. So we're setting goals with the student, setting goals with the family, and building those relationships. And, if they're embarrassed and having a hard time at the school, they're using um, our liaison person to be that connection piece. Hey, I can't get my daughter to school. No one can help me. What can I do? And I mean, I've a couple of our liaisons. I mean, they've driven out to their house, picked up that student, had her go in the office for a little bit, and it's just knowing that she's there. And when more things open up, that's when you refer them to the guidance counselor and that type of thing. But it's
Sure.
really a support person just to be there. And sometimes we're that only person, like the homeless guy. He said the last thing he said when he left was, it's just nice to know that there is somebody out there that cares. There's one person that may care.
And it's sometimes I think it's a great program because I think sometimes it's not a cop, it's not a social worker,
Good point.
it's this other person and it's just another person that cares, and that helps build the rapport for us as law enforcement when there's people like that. Do you do after school programming too? I read something about that. Do you do some after school programming?
Yeah, so when during COVID, we did a Wednesday program because Spooner Schools was closed on Wednesday, um, and we we did a program all day Wednesday. We have a couple staff that work in the after school program through the school, um, but definitely we partner with them, and we need a place for kids to go. And I've looked at the Boys and Girls Club, and something along those lines, but like funding is so
Yeah.
hard, and you have to have a community that is backing you up that
Hmm.
can make those things happen. And I do like the grant writing and that kind of stuff. And when I first started, that was the most challenging thing because you're looking at grants and they fund, you know, Eau Claire, Duluth,
Yep.
Polk. I mean, if you search Washburn County funding,
Good luck.
Yeah.
good luck. And so you're also, when you find one that it could possibly be, you have to make it look like that our need and our what we have, compare it to Milwaukee.
Oy.
So,
I agree.
we still have that same need, and but maybe it's not as many people. So um, I've been I've been thankful in the last 3 years that we found some awesome funding sources, and um, I think I had a little more experience writing grants, which has helped too.
Oh,
But
good. I
yeah,
want
there's
to ask you about that. Shani Anderson says Lakeland Family Resource Center does amazing things for our community. And speaking of Shani, I just saw on her Facebook page this morning. And speaking of hail, I think like her, I don't know, sunroof is gone. One of her back windows is gone. She needs a new roof. All this stuff. She was also down in Shell Lake, so yeah, that's a bummer. So going back to that, so in the 5 years that you've been there, you can kind of only speak for Lakeland Family Resource Center since you've been there, a little over 5 years, but you've talked about the growth. And I've heard about it. Lakeland Family Resource Center was something I know Mom has, I think you've maybe even done an article on in the past. We're aware of it. We started 6.5 years ago, so it was around about the time we started to. But I have seen Lakeland Family Resource Center out a lot more in terms of people talking about it. I see it on social media a lot more. You can't just base it on employees, but just out of curiosity, when you got there, about how many people worked for, whether it's, I don't know if you have volunteers or staff, et cetera, about how many people were then and how many people now?
So when I started, there was executive director and 2 program people, so that would have been 3.
Okay.
And then we do have some very part-time supervised visitors, and there was about 4. So now we have total 17 staff, which that includes our 9 very part-time supervised visitors, but we have 6 full-time and then one part-time then that does a lot of our food programs. So at one point, so Jackie Buckman, she's my assistant director, and I hired her a year after I started. At one point, it was her and I. And we remember that we were just doing everything we could and trying, like, it was a lot. But,
Yeah.
we look at it now and it's like, wow, we recently moved, well, not recently, in the last 4 years, we moved to a new location in the Spooner Business Center. And, we're outgrowing that. Our office space is like, we're all jam packed together. And so it's super exciting. And there's just so much more. And like I say, the best part of my job is that we can help everyone,
What would you attribute this growth to? And maybe that ties into my another thing I want to get some clarification on. So obviously you write grants.
Mm-hmm.
How else do you receive funding? So I don't know if that ties into how do you go from 3 to 17, granted, not all full-time, et cetera, but I'm pretty sure most people, even though it's a nonprofit, not many people want to work for free, typically, except Fitzy when he does these shows. He doesn't get paid anything. I love it. So what would you attribute this growth to?
So, a lot of it is staffing. I take care of my staff. I make sure that number one thing for them is their family, and we all back each other up. We have a great team. Something happens, we always back each other up. We may not have health insurance, but we have all the other benefits, and I'm still working on getting that piece. But we pay our people, and I take the time to train them. And when you're working especially in the schools and stuff, and you're building those relationships with those kids, we cannot have turnover because those kids, they need you. So definitely, I have a fabulous team, and that growth, yes, has to do with our team. Also has to do with the increased needs of our community.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I always interrupt. I'm terrible at that. I'm so sorry. But I don't want to forget this. You're saying that increased needs. Washburn County has not grown in its, in population really in 5 years.
Yeah.
So when you say increased needs, what would you attribute that to? Or was it just we've always had those needs, we just didn't recognize them before? So if there are increased needs, why? I do think COVID really has put
a trigger on that. You know, student
drug
that,
use,
Oh,
drug use,
sure.
which creates homelessness, and we're way better at recognizing it. So
Oh, sure.
people ask me all the time, how come Barron County's number one in drugs? I'm like, well, one, we recognize it,
Number
so
one.
and yeah, we want to be number one in something, but we recognize it, and more people have fallen into the trap of drugs, and then their kids need services that these ladies provide, and that's why it's so important to keep these organizations going.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I agree. And I think some of it too is that, that the COVID piece with students in schools is that they were out of school for quite a while. And, we did see a decline in a lot of the CPS cases when that happened, because no one has eyes on them as they're going to school. And, we're trying to, bring them gifts and trying to get into their home to find out what's going on. So I think that, the anxiety of going back to school and, going on with life,
Yeah.
and it's different. Life is different now.
Yeah. What's one program that you have that maybe not a lot of people are aware of that you wish people were aware of? I'm sure there's more than one, but is there one that stands out to you in your mind?
Well, there's such a need right now with drug use and whatnot, and kids being removed, and a lot of aunts, uncles, grandparents, those types of people, they're stepping up and they are saying, I will do this. I will take them instead of them going into foster care or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's struggles that come with that. Maybe it's a grandparent. I've already raised my kids. I've already done all that.
Sure.
So we have a program called Relatives as Parents. And we've been getting some consistent funding from the state for that. So we've really been able to grow that program, and it's been successful. We have a support group. We go and we take them out for breakfast. We do fun activities. We took them all to the movies, and took them on like a bison tour thing. We
Yes.
find fun things that they can do as a family. They don't have to worry about the planning, and they just show up. But we do get a lot of those parents that come and say, wow, there's other people in my same situation, and it's really nice to connect with them, and life is busy. It's hard to get people to, come and whatnot. But even one time, it's like, to be able to connect and say, oh my gosh, you're going through that too. And we can do it together. Yeah.
Fitzy, do you have any questions or anything that you wanted to add here?
Well, I just want to add that, I think if you want to get together with, an after-school program, and we started our after-school program 15 years ago right inside the school, and there wasn't much overhead cost to us, and now our Boys and Girls Club is, up to a $500,000 budget, or probably more than that. Our Benjamin House was our homeless shelter. I serve on that board. We started with the same thing. We had basically one staff. We actually closed for about 2 weeks, and people said we need this service. And then now we've grown to almost $1 million budget a year, a $700,000 budget a year basically. And we're looking to expand too. So, man, I want to help. I want to help wherever I can, and everybody should be reaching out to help. So you can expand. I think it's that important. When we say on this show, and we've said it a million times, little things make a big difference. We're not asking you to come and volunteer for a meeting a month or a week. We're saying help us do one thing to make us a little bit better. And if everybody starts doing that to these nonprofits, we're going to make a bigger difference in our community. So I'm not asking you to join a board or do this. There's little things, I would guess there's little things volunteers can do for you that make a big difference.
That's perfect, because I only had two things left that I'd written down. One, just to be clear, what is your website so people can go and find that? I think it's just Lakeland Family LFRC.org. Is that right?
.com. Yep.
.com. LFRC.com. And the last thing I had was literally, what do you need? For everyone that is listening right now, what do you need? What are their options? Could they, like Fitzy was saying, Can someone come in if they wanted to volunteer for something, or just stop in and say hi? Or obviously, I'm assuming people can donate, right? And I don't know if you have like monthly things that you set up. What do you need right now?
So, you just brought up like funding and whatnot, but like, a lot of our funding comes from, our fundraisers, our general donations that people are dropping off, and then, grants and state. And we do have a great relationship with Washburn County Health and Human Services. So that's always great too. So, obviously, and anything that we do, it takes money. And I feel the biggest need, and you brought up the Benjamin House. I don't know how many times I've called the Benjamin House. How can I get people here? And we have one homeless shelter in Washburn County, and that is a single family home in Spooner.
Oy.
So we don't have places for people to go. And I know that, next couple weeks, I think you're going to have Chet and Julie Beaver on, and we're all part of Community First, a group where we all work together. We all are at the same meetings. We're all meeting, and what can we do? And that biggest need we feel is housing. So it's really, I think, just stepping up to the table and saying, let's make this happen. How can we make this happen? And one agency, one person can't do that. And yes, and obviously, calling, volunteering. I've had people that donated and said, I want this to go to the Shell Lake School District or something specific. That can happen. We can. I've also had someone who brought in $100 bills and said, "Go surprise someone with $100 bills that need it." So some pretty cool things, and we funding is the barrier, but there's also bringing the people to the table. Jackie and I can't create this big program together. It takes the whole community to come together.
Well, it sounds like Fitzy volunteered us to donate something to you, so you'll be getting that. So there's some funding. Because now we'll look like jerks if we don't.
He likes a big sponsorship, so he doesn't like those.
Stop
He
it.
likes big ones.
Okay, Renee Luell, the Executive Director at Lakeland Family Resource Center, was joining us today as we partner with Spooner Health to bring you segments called Community Cares. Renee, first of all, thank you so much for jumping on. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
I think the last thing is, we don't have that program for you, or we don't know. We can find it for you. You get a brochure and you don't know what to do. Give us a call. We'll figure that out. Email us, message us on Facebook, whatnot. We can figure it out. Don't worry about calling and saying I need to be in a specific program.
Right. If you don't have the program for them, if you don't have the answer for them, you will get them the answer. You are the liaison, as you said. We will find it for you. Thank you so very much,
If you
Renee.
got something for Ben and I to do, you call us and we'll make it happen.
Yeah, Fitzy, specifically Fitzy. Call him. All right.
I'm
Thanks.
gonna think of a good fundraiser, something you guys can do.
Actually, that does sound awesome.
We'll do our show live from there.
Love it.
We'll raise some money for you. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Thank you so much, Renee.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it so much.
Of course. All right. There we go. How was that?
That was awesome.
Right?
It was just these nonprofits. People don't understand, and I understand them.
You do.
A lot of boards.
You're on most of the boards. Hey, that's what you should do. Oh, we should have asked Renee. If they're looking for a board member, they have to live in Washburn County. If they're coming to Barron, that's total perfect fit. You need more stuff to be on anyway.
Yeah. Well, organizations like this that do so many things for so many people are special. I mean, I'm on a lot of organizations that are very specific to a certain brand.
Yeah.
Whether it's kids or this or that, or but as this one does it all.
They're great.
And it's just crazy. And I just, people don't understand people that lead these nonprofits aren't in it for the money. They're not getting 10% bonuses, and they're not getting all this. They're not getting big pay raises because she's right. She puts it back into her staff and back into her programs before she puts it into her, her own salary.
Nonprofits are now. I'm now going to consider the people that work at nonprofits the same as I have considered firefighters and cops. Like, I don't know why you guys do it. Yeah. It takes a certain person to do that, a special person to do it. So that's incredible.
Amanda, you want Ben to be on your kinship?
No, she meant you. That's you. That's you. I was on a board for a minute and a half, and that didn't go very well for me. We won't bring that up again, though.
That'll get us in trouble
again. See, maybe I should take one of those things that Renee was talking about, for kids that are in trouble and people. I should take some of these classes.
Yeah.
All righty.
Anyway, we will let it all go.
That was both of you. Yeah, I don't think so. All right, what do you have coming up this week?
Man, I got so many things. We're doing a lot of talks this week. I was doing a lot of talks about safety, some active shooter conversations at some different businesses. I'm going to Dove Healthcare this afternoon. Last week I met with a program called Daybreak, which is, and I spoke about the sheriff with, the guy used to be the former sheriff of Washburn County for 2 years, Don. Can't remember his last name.
Yeah.
And he's part of this program I sat through, and we talked a little bit. It was awesome to go sit with this group of people that just need a break from their caretaker and just do something special with. And I mean, there's just so many programs out there that it's wrong that we all don't know about them. And I appreciate Spooner Health for putting that on, because that's what we need to do. That's why we do this show, to make a big difference. And now we've given people hopefully a ton of opportunities to go out and make a big difference.
And they already raised some money because, you volunteered us. So. I saw you have a Donut Dash thing coming up.
Yes, Donut Dash.
Is that that's announced?
At the fair. Yeah. You can buy your T-shirts now. We want to make this really huge this year. I really, Jen, our dispatcher, does a great job. She lives in Spooner. Maybe she should volunteer at Lakeland Family Resource.
See, we're going to volunteer everybody just to go to Lakeland Family Resource Center now. I'll put a post up later today.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll get some information. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Maybe we should do that.
They have a list of everything that they
need.
Good.
They should just send it to us. We'll post
it's on their website.
See? What's the website again?
LakelandFRC.com.
All right, sweet.
LakelandFRC.com.
All right, man. That's all I got.
All right.
You?
What are you doing?
I have no idea.
Okay. I don't either.
I got to figure out how to get my wife's vehicle fixed, and then I think Tom Tiffany will be on this Thursday for his monthly positive. No, that's the show. Breakfast with Tiffany show. Thank you. And then Friday, I think, is Rebecca Clayfish.
Oh.
And then we have a string of Democrats coming on just to shut up all those nasty, horrible emails that I get.
You're so biased.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's fantastic. All right, man.
Keep the eye in the sky tonight. Thanks, Dirk.
Thanks, Dirk.
Keep you updated on our Facebook page if you need something, but just go out and make a difference. Let's go do it.
Amen to that. And go to lfrc.com. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben Dryden, and you've been watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors. With nearly 20 years of experience, this locally owned and operated business provides quality work both on the inside and on the outside of your home or business. So give Brian a call today. The number is right there on the screen, 520-2271. As we sign off, remember, it's the little things that make a big difference. Thank you for watching, and have a blessed day. Wow, Renee killed it today, dude.
Yeah, she was
that was
all
nice.
of them are. It's gonna be fabulous, and it gives people something to do.
It gives some people something to do.
No, I meant the
I know, it just sounded funny.
You're tired and looking for something to do. I don't mean them. They got plenty to do.
They do.